Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about what work is left for the Hull C before we can get our hands on it. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. If you do enjoy my content and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are in the description below. So we had a recent Calling All Devs which focused completely on ships. Within that episode we got some answers to the Hull C, where it is and what work is left to be done until it is in the game. Today I want to go through those tasks for everyone interested in this huge hauler. Firstly, for those of you who don't know, the Hull C is a dedicated cargo hauler from the manufacturer MISC. The Hull C is a middle-sized hauler from the Hull series ranging from A through to E, with the Hull A being the smallest single-seater variant at 22 metres and the Hull E being the largest at 372 metres, larger than the Javelin in fact. Now the Hull C sits slap bang in the middle of all this at around 125 metres in length, about the same size as a Carrack, and it was the first of the Hull series that CIG decided to tackle. Now I'm not sure why, most likely it is a required ship in the Squadron 42 campaign, but I don't think they've ever really answered why they chose the Hull C over the other variants. Anyway, it's been on and off of the roadmap multiple times over the years, and it is a flyable ship now. It's pretty much finished, but there has been a few necessary pieces of tech required before it can be brought into the PU, mostly surrounding physics and its ability to expand and contract the cargo spindles, which allows it to haul the monstrously slated 4,608 standard cargo units, but a lot of this required tech has actually been completed already, like the ability for physics grids to expand and contract, meaning that as the ship extends, the central tube allows the player to physically move through it without any issues, but there are still a couple of requirements left. So let us go through them now. Firstly, similar to the physics grids expanding, the room system needs to be expandable as well. What this will do is flood the tube with oxygen as it expands, which allows the player to walk through, breathing without needing to wear a spacesuit. Secondly, the ability to trigger various ship states. For example, a ship state is lowering your landing gear, transitioning your VTOL thrusters to face down. These are all states that can be triggered at the touch of a button by a player as and when they require it, so providing the option for the player to hit the button, triggering the Hull C to go from spindles being tucked away to fully extended and ready to be loaded up. Now the work for this is actually scheduled for a developer to get on with it, but it's anyone's guess as to how long or when that will get done. Next up is finding a cargo solution for performance reasons. With the Hull C's cargo capacity being so large, and CIG aiming to physicalize all cargo in the game, having to physically render in all 4,608 SEU boxes onto a Hull C would just cripple performance, so a solution is needed. And that solution is to have the Hull C carry larger containers, keeping the total SEU at 4,608, but only rendering a smaller percentage. For example, maybe 146 SEU containers. This means the game is only rendering 100 boxes per fully laden Hull C, instead of thousands of them for every hull. Not to mention when they introduce the Hull D or E, as the Hull E can carry over 98,000 SEU. Obviously these numbers can change, but it is still a monstrous amount of cargo. Now I think these cargo decks are actually testing the cargo containers now. If you look at the exterior of the cargo decks, you can see hundreds of these larger shipping containers, and I reckon CIG are just testing performance while rendering vast amounts of these boxes to see how well the performance holds up. But I expect to see containers of that size on the Hull C series and up. Now the final task to complete is ship-to-station docking, which, as we have seen and heard, is well into development now, and although it might take a bit of time before it's ready, I personally think it's something they'll achieve either this year or early 2021. Now the reason docking is necessary for the Hull C is because when the Hull C is fully loaded, it cannot land on a pad or a hangar. It has to dock and have the cargo removed via ships like the Argo SRV. On a side note, I assume they will need to work out some form of timer, if they haven't already, which determines how long it takes to unload and load a ship like the Hull C when docked at a spaceport, and what the player will see as NPCs go back and forth to the ships grabbing these large boxes. I'm sure they have an idea already, but even as an artificial disappearing act, I think it would suffice if the ship is ready to go. Now this is one reason why cargo decks are an important addition, and of course the lack of associated gameplay in 3.11 will leave them a little dry and unappealing, but having them in the game means that when docking and the Hull C is available, they will play their part as major ports in the verse that CIG have made them out to be. Seeing these large haulers come and go and docking at stations will be an impressive sight. All the hustle and bustle each time they come in is going to be something really exciting to see, and I can't wait. Some other factors which they would probably want to implement before introducing these hauling behemoths is the iCache to help track the large amounts of physicalized cargo and ensure that they persist properly on the outside of the hull might be something they want to implement before releasing them. The iCache also isn't that far off and most likely achievable this year, but combining the Hull C, physicalized cargo and cargo decks would really help to expand the cargo mechanic massively, which is something they do want to do. From there, it'll be things like introducing the dynamic economy, which, although not 100% necessary for the Hull C to get in game, it will definitely play a large part in giving the Hull C major purpose. That work won't be ready until late next year though, so let's not think too much about that. But there you have it, expanding the room system, implementing the ability to trigger different states, larger cargo containers and docking. That is all that remains before the Hull C can make it into the game. It may sound like a lot of work, but it is definitely moving along quickly. Anyway, I do hope that you found this video useful in explaining what is left for the Hull C before we can get our hands on it. Still a few technical hurdles, but they are much closer now than they have ever been. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit subscribe and tick that notification bell if you want to be notified when my videos go live. And if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, it is very much appreciated. Also, do come and hang out over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. Everybody is welcome. The link is in the description. Again, thank you to my patrons and channel members for helping me make these videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.